if you're not crying at least one point during the month of Inktober, you're doing it completely wrong. You have to have broken down in tears at some point.
So there you have it, people, from the guy himself.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't cause you to be inactive. Like,
Right.
it's the same as if you're doing like a health challenge. Like this month, I'm going to run a mile every day. But would you stress out about that? No.
No, you shouldn't. Like,
Okay. You're recording, right?
actually, I was. So we're here with Jake for this video about Inktober. He's just going to share a little bit about what Inktober should be and what it shouldn't be.
Sure, whatever. I came up with Inktober back in 2009, and initially, it's always sort of been supposed to be a challenge. It's supposed to be something that you look forward to, a chance for you to flex your muscles a little bit, stretch muscles or work out muscles that you don't normally work out. But should you stress out about it? Should it cause you to like freak out and not want to do anything? No. You should be looking forward to it, looking forward to doing it in a way where you do feel challenged, but you don't feel overwhelmed. And I think that's the way to do it. Do it in a way that it doesn't like get in the way of the rest of your life. Do what you can do in 30 minutes a day, or an hour a day, or 15 minutes a day, and just plan your life and your Inktober project according to the amount of time you have to do it.
And what if I can't do every day?
Okay.
Am I eliminated? Are
No.
the Inktober police going to come after me?
No,
Like,
there's no such thing as Inktober police. And in fact, there was a couple of years where I didn't do it every day. I didn't have time to do it on the weekends. I was just doing it Monday through Friday. But now I love doing it, and every year it's like something that I want to do. And so I actually say no to certain projects and carve out time for the month to work on it. And that's why I do such a big project, because I'm actually saying no to other things so I could do that. So that's Inktober.
Yeah,
just
sweet.
do it in a way that you feel good about it.
So this 30-day challenge, basically what it is, it's called Inktober. For the whole month of October, every day you're supposed to do some drawing in ink. Okay. Now people get confused about what that means. I mean, there's brush pens that exist. There are some brush pens, something like this. Okay. And then there are, your normal technical pens. And then you even have your gel pens that I would probably consider ink as well. Then you have actual ink if you wanted to use actual ink. That you could also water wash and do full pages and stuff like that without wasting so much ink. So there's a lot of different things. But inking could be as simple as just a ballpoint pen. There's ink in here. People do Inktober with ballpoint pens. So anyways, the idea is that it forces you to challenge yourself, and also to put something down that you can't fix, right? Like you can't just erase it, you would have to start over again. That doesn't mean you have to just do it. I do all my stuff in pencil first, and then I go back with a pen. I use a brush pen or some technical pens, depending on what I'm doing and what I enjoy. So I tried to do this a couple years ago. I gave it a shot, and it lasted about 5 days. After 5 days, I couldn't keep doing it. I wasn't prepared for the time, and I just hadn't filled my creative bank account with these ideas and stuff that I could do. So I did it last year, and I actually really enjoyed it. I did 26 days, I think. I couldn't do the last ones. I was just too busy with stuff, and that's okay. You really don't have to do every day. There's other artists that I follow who maybe do one a week, or there's some that maybe knock out like 4 or 5, and they're like, hey, this is all I can do for Inktober, but they still did something. People get this idea in their mind that they have to do every day, and they stress themselves out and they get anxiety, and it defeats the purpose of what it is. It is a challenge, and some days you really don't want to do stuff, and it's good to push yourself. For me, it was a challenge to push myself to be drawing every day, and the ink was it helped my techniques with inking and so on. But then it was things that like I can't fix. Like I just have to leave it like it is. So I did set aside time each day. And I did put other stuff off, but it was things that I could do without, like playing video games or watching a movie or watching some TV show. I put that aside because for this month I really wanted to focus on this. And it was awesome. It worked out really, really well for me. My skills of not just inking and drawing in general improved, but even my skills of creating something, coming up with some idea from some prompt. Because what they do is for Inktober, they put out an official prompt list. So for every day, they put some word like poison or strength or whatever it is. And you can check out at Inktober, I believe is their Instagram. And so they put this out so that people have ideas, because some people can't just create something every day. And for me, that was also a challenge, because you could just take your own characters and draw them, 30 days, or you could challenge yourself and do something completely different. So almost every day that I did was completely different from the other ones. There was a few where I did the same characters or where I did fan art, some that I created, some that had much deeper meaning. But yeah, so I was talking to a student of mine, and she's considering doing it, but she watched something where the girl was like all anxious and talked about how rough it was, and that's not how it should be, right? And like there were days that I really didn't want to do it, but it was good for me to push myself to do it because it is a challenge. And so I told her, I said, you do need to be prepared. You need to be prepared that some of your drawings are just gonna suck. Someday you are just gonna have bad drawings, right? Like it's no different, but you still post those and you still do it, to show that you're real, right? It's like I had drawings that, like, I would say probably out of all of the ones I did, there was maybe 10 that I really, really liked. There was probably 6 or 7 that were just not good at all. 2 or 3 that were really not good at all, And then the rest of them was like, okay, this was good. This was a challenge. I think it turned out well. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you what those look like. And what I did is I put them in order from my least favorite to my most favorite. And I'll kind of describe them a little bit so that you can understand why those are. So let's go over here and we're going to take a look at all of these different drawings. I'll go through them. So here we have, this was probably my absolute least favorite. I think it was basically like pretty trashy. I really didn't try. I think the day was angular, and I just wasn't a fan. Then we move on. Here's another one. Just not a whole lot of work to it. The day was prickly. This one was excitement, and again, I did something, and some people really liked this, but it really didn't take much time or effort to do. So we're getting a little better, right? This one took some time doing the armor and so on, but again, not a whole lot of meaning to it. But again, still a challenge. I was still working on it. This one was roasted, I believe. I drew a few with different elf characters, and this just popped into my mind, so I did something really quick. Moving on. Another elf character, exhausted. Okay. This was actually the first day that we did. I didn't originally have this like on here, and this thing, I just thought I would see what it would look like if I was doing it black. But this was poison, and this actually took me some time to do. I was pretty happy with the first day. Then we moved on. This was an original character of mine. His name is Jack. He hunts dragons and so on. But this was fun to do because of the whole background that I did there. So this was a challenge. This is actually Jack's grandma, Annie, and this guy, Lukash, that I created with some students. And so this was fun to do because of drawing the store and the different shoes and looking up references and so on. You can actually see here, you can see the red pencil sketches that I was doing. And so, yeah, so this was fun creating characters and perspective and so on. Actually, I would have put this one further back. I think these are better. These ones are better than this one. This one goes more towards the front. Just wasn't a fan of it, how it turned out, and it was kind of crappy paper too, and so, yeah. So I'd say that's better than those. Then we get to this wonderful day of clock that I knew everyone would do some type of thing, so I combined Flava Flav with the White Rabbit. So it was fun, but again, not so much. I started doing some fan art of Hilda, and so that's where these came from. So again, you can do like fan art for stuff. You don't have to just do new things and create stuff. You can do fan art. So this one, there was I think 3 or 4 I did of Hilda fan art because I was watching it at the time. So here's one. Here's another one from Hilda as well. This was interesting, doing the perspective, making it a creepy room. I used neon green gel pen here, ink. Okay. Here's another one. This was fun to do. Got this idea from some other Instagram artist. This is Woodman, also from Hilda. Again, this was fan art that I did. Okay, this was a guy that I created. Glorp was his name. So some days I do create stuff. We're getting into some of the other ones. This one I just like the hair because I was watching somebody else do stuff. I did gold. There's different gold in here, and her tears are gold and so on. Got the shirt idea from a girl I saw working at a restaurant. So this one was fun to create the story with, where she uses the slobber and drool from dragons for cooking and stuff and healing things. So that was fun. This one was actually quite a bit of a challenge. This is why I put it further back, because the perspective I did, and challenged myself in perspective, not just in inking, but also in perspective. When you see them like this, I used ink and water, or ink washed it. And so, yeah, also challenging was the shadows and going from really, really high up, looking at her really, really low. So here's another fan art. This was from Spirited Away. I enjoyed doing this. Again, I was able to look at a picture and just draw this, and it worked out fine. This guy was really fun to do. It was like chicken was it, and I ended up creating this chicken warrior. So this is one of my favorites. So we're getting more towards the ones that I really, really thought were some of my best work. So here's one of those. Why? Just because of the way it turned out, the way I created it, very clean. This because of the idea of it flying above the clouds with the different buildings and stuff there, and the stars and stuff in the background. And again, my original character riding her giant butterfly. Here it is again, same person, Annie, one of my original characters, whose face I haven't necessarily drawn, but here she is. This was really cool because I created the clouds and then did the dragon shadow in the cloud, because she hunts dragons. So yeah, that was super fun to do. This was also great. I just love the way the whole black turned out and this guy riding on his whale. I combined a whale idea from Treasure Planet and also something else to do this one. So this one was exhausted. I used different gel pens for the ink, and it's just life is draining the person, and so, or maybe it was called Life, I'm not sure, or Tired, I don't remember. Anyways, this one was my favorite one. I believe it was Protect, and it was all about protecting my heart and what that means. And so some of these you have will be much better and much deeper and have a deep meaning for you, and other ones may not. You know, maybe none of them will. So there you have it. That was my drawings that I did in my experience. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great challenge, and I'm going to be doing it again this year. And I'll follow some of the prompts, but I also have my own stuff. I also follow a lot of other people who do the challenge, and I follow them because I want to be encouraged and be challenged and see how they do stuff. And so it's actually really cool to do that. So I encourage you guys to do it. Definitely jump in, but be prepared to set that time aside, and have your tools, but don't think that you have to use specific things. I was talking with Jake, and people just ask him the craziest questions, like about what they can and can't use. So just use whatever ink you can get your hands on. Feel free to draw in pencil first. There's not, like Jake said, there's no Inktober police, right? Which is actually what I'm going to be creating these first few days, is the Inktober police. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys are encouraged and understand a little more about what Inktober is and what it was to me. And again, you heard Jake himself about what Inktober is. So yeah, jump out there and do it. Or just follow people and see what they do. Again, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. If you got any questions or whatever, please put them in the comments. Follow me on Instagram. Follow Jake on Instagram. Follow Inktober on Instagram. And you'll get to see all this cool stuff that people are doing. So have a good one. Always nice to have you.
Don't give up.